Is there set to be another new AEW faction? We've got an update on Adam Cole's AEW return, and Ken Shamrock has signed a new WWE contract. Stay tuned for all the deets. So as Jon Moxley builds his new team of baddies in AEW, PW Insider are reporting that another faction could be in the works right now, with talk backstage about building a heel faction in the women's division around Deonna Purrazzo. Now, she's had some focus in AEW lately with a series of vignettes that are kind of all leaning into the virtuosa side of her persona. She's, quaffing red wine, admiring it just basically kind of going off about her technical excellence and everything, in spite of the last match she had being a loss to Kairi Shida. But you can just quietly dust that one under the rug and then airbrush Shida out and just say it was like her showing off her skills and just remove the win-loss record bit. It's fine. But yeah, I think it makes sense. Purrazzo is a huge character. I think she's going to be such a major figure in that division.
Yes.
And it will be cool to have a faction built up around her, but does she really need it?
Does she really need it? No, but I feel like it's nice to have something a little bit refreshing within the AEW women's roster. They've got such tremendous talent, and we don't really have women's factions within AEW. I feel like we've got the Outcasts, and other than that, there's not been really much more. And I feel like a really dominant heel women's faction would be really, really fun to see.
I think as well, it does kind of work with the idea of a virtuosa or a virtuoso. They would have an entourage that are a bit kind of, a bit kiss ass.
Yes.
And they'd be a bit kind of like that, they really want to hold up the virtuosa and really make sure everybody knows she's as good as she is. So I think there is a lot of room there for some storyline gold. I think you are right that it would be a fresh thing in the women's side of the roster as well. So I'm excited about it
for sure. And as for who could be in it, I don't know. I was thinking about it.
She did also, I believe, she retweeted this, and she re-xed it. What even is it now? But she reposted it with essentially enough talk.
Yes,
let's just do it. So it was
let's get straight.
Let's do it. Let's get straight into it.
Let's just do it.
But keeping it with AEW here, we've got a return about Adam Cole. We've got an update about Adam Cole's return. You can tell I've been up since 6.
Oh, you're doing a fantastic job, Sam, as always. Obviously, Cole has been out of action with AEW for a while now, but we could be getting closer to an in-ring return. PW Insider reporting that Cole was backstage at AEW Dynamite tapings this past Wednesday. Also backstage was former Ring of Honor owner Kairi Silken, who took a photo with Adam Cole revealing that he is up and about and out of his leg cast. I'm very excited about this.
He's got some wonderful Mario Nikes on.
Oh my, and he's got a wonderful, I think he was wearing a Zelda hoodie as well. What a guy.
And wonderful heeled legs.
Yes.
So this is it's looking good. We had been hearing reports that Adam Cole had been milling around backstage. I believe he was at All Out, but they obviously didn't feature on the show. But we were kind of debating this the other week. It's like, what do you do with him? Are you going to have him come back in straight away and go after MJF? There's all this talk MJF's taking some time away. Is he not going to come back till that? Or are you just going to kind of brush the devil stuff under the rug for a bit and then go back to it, like them two having a bit of a feud later? Do you bring him back and just do something entirely fresh with him? It feels like it's a chance to do a bit of a soft reboot.
Yes.
Obviously not of the character or anything, but just kind of throw him into something entirely new. Just straight back in.
I think that might be the best thing to do for him. I feel like a lot of fans sort of cooled off on the whole devil thing. Obviously, due to injury.
Went on for so long,
yes,
didn't it?
And stuff with MJF, obviously, we got them in the ring, we got the hoof in the nuts and stuff.
MJF's he's obviously not being able to hang around, so he's just have to kind of move on and on and on. So to go back to it now, I think you can again retread it down the road. But I think they can circle each other for a bit and do their own thing.
I think that's it. I think that would be the best for them. I'd like the idea of a soft reboot just to get something fresh in there for him, something new as well. Do we see him come back as a heel or as a face? What do you think?
Oh, I like him best as a heel, though.
He is amazing as a heel, isn't he? He is.
But he's such a nice person. So
that's the thing. That's the contrast between the two,
Now, keeping it again with AEW here, there has been this conversation going on for months, Andrew. Months on end. And it surrounds the fact that AEW is going to have a brand new TV deal by the end of this week.
Woo!
For the last 8 months.
Yes.
So it's all been kind of tantalizingly sitting there, and everybody's going like, what's happening? Are they going to re-sign? Are they going to move to another network? But when it comes to TV deals, Tony Khan spoke on AEW's recent rumors, reports, and all of the kind of speculation on Busted Open Radio, saying, I know they've been reporting things that are very interesting. There are a lot of reports and rumors. It doesn't help when it's just been this long, Tony. That's all I'm going to say there. I've not confirmed, and Warner Brothers has not confirmed anything officially. I think we have a really exciting future there. I can say with 100% certainty, AEW and TBS and TNT are here to stay for a long time. And John Orand from Puck has reported that AEW's deal with TBS is apparently in the ballpark of $170 million per year, which is a game-changing deal for AEW and just wrestling in general.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see what the deal and what all the stuff actually is.
There's speculation about Fox as well, with it potentially being like a 1 hour show.
Yeah, with Shockwave, it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I mean, it's just good for wrestling all around, really, isn't it?
Of course,
really,
yeah.
like, I don't know much else to really add to the story itself, but yeah, just good for AEW and good for
The more
Tony.
that networks are paying for wrestling, the more that networks are going to continue to pay for wrestling, hopefully. So long as the product stays strong enough and so long as the industry stays strong, it means that, potentially there's a lot more money getting pumped into the industry. We've certainly seen WWE post record profits like year on year on year. So it's not surprising that a company like AEW, who is looking to just keep growing, and they've got the massive Australia show coming up. It's just one of those things where, they're going to need to start looking for more and more money in order to get to that next step of their growth. Yeah. So all the best to them, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But moving over to our last news article here for the second video of the day, and this one's a very exciting one for me, Andrew. Do you want to tell the people?
Oh, go on, let's tell the people. Ken Shamrock, everybody, has spoken about his WWE relationship and revealed his status on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, saying, "I've had a relationship with them, WWE, forever. Even since when I went away, we did a Legends contract, so I've always been a part of them. It's one of those things where I think I spent enough time there and did enough there that I feel like I'm part of the family forever." When asked by Chris if he is currently under a WWE Legends contract, Ken Shamrock said, "I am. Yes."
It's one of Ken Shamrock, he's somebody who I think for a long time people just kind of shrugged, and it was like, it was like, no, I loved him as a kid. I thought he was just mental, he was terrifying, and then when you found out he was actually capable of actually ripping your head off, he was even more terrifying.
Absolutely.
But looking ahead to things like what could be next, the fact he's under a Legends contract, there's a lot of kind of people now talking about the idea of potentially going into the Hall of Fame. But he told Chris, I'm in 4 or 5 different ones, wrestling included. When people ask that, it's not really something I think about a lot. I enjoyed my time in wrestling. I thought when I was there, it was enjoyable. I went into it because it was an opportunity for me, because MMA was struggling and I wasn't able to make the money I needed to support my family. It's not something I think of until it's brought up. If that happens, it's going to be a true thrill, but it's not something I lose sleep over. I've really enjoyed my journey, and I'm very happy with the way my life has turned out. And all I can say, Andrew, is 2 words.
Go.
2 words.
Suck it.
Fight pit.
Oh, that was it. I feel like that's been something that a lot of us have been talking about for the longest time as well.
Put him in the ref top, get him back in. Just come on.
It writes itself, doesn't it?
Does.
It would be so cool. And maybe NXT, maybe we've seen it on the main roster as well. Maybe they do bring it back for something, especially with the UFC stuff and everything as well. It kind of makes sense. I would be up for seeing that for sure.
Except don't have him walking around the catwalk. Have him in there.
Like have
him just stood around in there like back in the lines.
Let's get him in.
Get him in. Just
give
him the title.
Give him the title.
Give him one more run. Give him the run he should have had in the 90s.
Do we let him
He's
be the one to be
most dangerous man?
Oh, he is the world's most dangerous man.
He doesn't stand a chance.
Well,
Ken Shamrock.
There we go. World Heavyweight Championship. Ken Shamrock. Everybody.
He's going to know all of them. Just all the belts.
Oh, all of the belts. Well, you heard it here first.
Right. Well, that was it for your second dose of. I know I said bumper weekend wrestling news because I'm too used to presenting on Saturday. On your Friday news. We may be back later on if anything else does break. But in the meantime, keep it here with us on the channel. We've got plenty of content set to come out over the rest of the day. So, catch you later.